Northern Lights Express. I'm guessing you're at least semi-familiar with it.
I am.
And what do you see in 2000? Is it a reality? I mean, is it going to happen?
I believe that rail transportation is a lot of our future here. We got to improve the roads. We've done a lot of that. We need to keep doing that. But rail, when you look at the price of gas and what's happening here, we want to have alternatives for people, and rail is one of them. I'm supportive of Northern Lights. I think it's part of this bigger network. We already got North Star going, and it's been very successful. We've got the Hiawatha line, the Central Corridor. The work is going on that, connecting Minneapolis to St. Paul. The hope is that we can get high-speed rail from Chicago to Minnesota, and then something down south. And this Northern Lights is a big piece of this to make sure we go up through the north as well. And I serve on the Public Works Committee, which includes the funding for transportation, and I'm also on Commerce, which includes the regulation of air transportation. And so I'm very focused on this and working with Congressman Oberstar and support his efforts.
Almost a year ago to the day you were in Mora, talking to a group of angry dairy farmers. We've had some recent legislation that they've called a good first step.
Thank you.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that,
Right.
and what's the second step?
With the dairy farmers, I really made this my #1 agriculture focus this past year. When I met those dairy farmers in Mora, you could just feel the hurt and how hard they worked every single morning, getting up early and doing their part of it. And then the way this pricing system has evolved in the world, not just our country, it really was set up to hurt them. And so we made some changes. We got first of all, Vilsack, I flew with him out to Minnesota when he went to St. Cloud, and I personally lobbied him on behalf of he's the Secretary of Agriculture, on behalf of the dairy farmers. A week after that, he announced some more assistance and a program to buy dairy products, basically, for the government, for school lunches, other things. Then the next thing that happened is we got some more aid going, but we didn't like the amount of it, and with the pricing and the funding going out. So Bernie Sanders and a group of senators, actually this started in the Senate, not the House, we decided in the middle of the summer that we were going to do an amendment. Now, I was never sure if we were going to win, because there were more states that didn't have dairy than states that did, but we really pushed our colleagues on it. We won by 2 votes. That was significant more funding, and that's what most of the dairy farmers are focused on. We got it done in the House, and now the funding is out. Hopefully that will help to stabilize, but the real key is the long term. You know, the milk program, the MILC program, it's just not enough for a price support that you might have with crops and other things. So in the long term, we've had some long-term hearings. We're going to have to do something about that. The export market, key for milk, so that we can open up more markets. That really hurt the drag in the global economy, really hurt our dairy farmers. They will all tell you that. Even if they may not export themselves, a certain farm, it hurt the price of the product. And now if we can see an upsurge in the world economy, we're going to have more markets to export our milk to. Imports, allowing things in that shouldn't be allowed in, or not pricing them right, also hurt them. But when we had our hearing a few months ago on this in agriculture, the committee on which I serve, we had a lot of discussion about the need to open up some of those export markets for our dairy farmers and not have them put up fake barriers that doesn't allow our products to come in. So the solutions in the long term, it's going to be better long-term support for our dairy farmers in the next farm bill, if not before, more short-term help, so to get through this rough patch, and then looking at that export market. That's an easier way to say it than the long way.